This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, May 12th. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon. Feeling good?
Yeah, Brandon just literally saved me. So I made, as you all guys know, I'm obsessed with tea, and I was coming on up to the desk to sit down, and out of nowhere, I don't know what happened, I just threw my cup of tea up in the air, and my phone went flying, and water went everywhere, and Brandon saved the day on my phone.
Chivalry's not dead.
What a gentleman.
Thank you,
Chivalry's not dead. This is why we're leading off with an A-Rod story, but we're getting a Brandon London shout out first, because before we get to A-Rod,
here we go.
ladies, we want you to know chivalry is not dead. You're welcome, Stephanie.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's Brandon's Instagram. You'll be seeing that later. All right. It appears that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's reunion in Montana may have been months in the making. Yep, we're back on it. As we told you, Ben and Jen were seen driving around a big resort in Big Sky near Yellowstone Park last weekend. So according to TMZ, they've allegedly been exchanging flirty emails since February while she was shooting a film in the Dominican Republic and still engaged to A-Rod. to boot. Meantime, A-Rod was spotted in Miami, but some photographers who asked him about the meetup, his response, go Yankees. And as we told you, A-Rod's a former Yankee and Ben is a Boston Red Sox fan. The rivalry goes on.
Yeah, so for the non-sports people, I'm guessing that's him like, go me, my team, my side.
I don't know. People are just connecting the dots. He used to be on the Yankees, so his response was probably just like, go Yankees. I don't know if that was a direct response because Ben Affleck is such a big Red Sox fan, and like we told you, they're rivalries if you don't know sports. So I don't know if it was a shout out, or like a shot at Ben. I don't think it was, but it might have.
You guys are you're missing the big picture here.
No, we're not. We're speculating.
You're missing.
And we're neck deep.
Keep your eyes on the ball here, since we're talking baseball. He has been sliding in her emails, not DMs, sliding in her emails since February. So if I'm A-Rod, I'm a little upset right now. This man has been in your emails goodwill hunting, trying to find his way back into your life. No. And we were reportedly supposed to still be together. So forget who I allegedly DM'd or FaceTimed with. Whoever that is, you were still emailing your ex while we were still kinda allegedly whatever we gotta say.
A year ago, there was rumors that he was with this reality star.
Yes.
Madison LaCroix.
Right? That shuts me up then, huh?
Yeah, so I mean, there's been rumors that A-Rod was doing this typical A-Rod, you know, having a flirt, getting in touch with other women. One in particular was the very beautiful Madison from Southern Charm,
the reality TV
show.
If we're going to continue to do these stories, we should probably get a picture of her somewhere.
Yeah, we never show a picture, do we? Beautiful girl, seems very sweet off the show. Who knows what's been going on there?
That's alleged as well.
Yeah. So obviously that was maybe going on before, way before this happened. And you've got to think, when we found out, so we started talking literally months ago that A-Rod and Jennifer were splitting up. We're talking months. We're only in May now. So I reckon back in February, they knew it was over. And what happened was they were like, no, it was an insider source. It's not what you all think. And I think that's because they were trying to reclaim the narrative, because they said, obviously, they had a really blended family. A-Rod's kids and J-Lo's kids really got on,
TikTok
spent
dances.
a lot of time together. So I think they were protecting the kids and easing them into the separation. So it was part of everyday life before the general public, like us, all start gossiping about it. And then a few months later, we found out. So I think this was done way back when, long ago. And it sounds, oh yes, he found a message from February. I bet they split up before then.
I totally agree with that.
All right.
I love swimming in the gossip pool,
you know
but I think that's right. I think that's right. All right, guys, big news in the world of daytime TV. Have you heard? Ellen DeGeneres announced that the next season of her talk show will be her last. Ellen told The Hollywood Reporter that as a creative person, this is her excuse of why she's leaving. Her longtime talk show is just not a challenge anymore. Ellen has faced ongoing criticism after allegations of bullying and toxic behavior behind the scenes surfaced last year. But Ellen said the plan to end her show after 19 seasons was all in place before the drama came to light. Kind of like J-Lo and A-Rod. J-Lo? Yeah, J-Lo and A-Rod. There's so many like terms, Affleck and I don't know. I get them mixed up, but yes. Bennifer, yeah. But so what do you think about this one?
I heard this honestly way back when before.
Yeah.
I mean, I also heard about all of the allegations about the toxic workplaces a long time ago. I mean, if you work in our industry, it's kind of been a known thing. People talk about it. They gossip about Ellen, how people are treated on the show for a long time. And I also heard from people that had worked on the show that, you know, she was over it. She didn't really want to do it anymore. She has done 19 seasons. That's a long time. And I think probably as well, when you get to that point and that level of status and fame and, you know, it's no longer a challenge, that's also when people do make mistakes. That's also when people aren't being taken as good a care of because your eye's not as much on the ball. And I think she's over it and she wants to move on. And I think as well, it's time with all the rumors and things, you want to end on a semi-high rather than like... These allegations getting worse.
You're taking a high road here, like where her ratings used to be. Now they're down.
Yeah, they're
let's just get cut to the chase.
Okay, but her ratings are down. Who is there left for her to interview? She's interviewed everyone. What is there left for that show to do? So when we talk about rebranding ourselves, when it comes to being creative, I get it. You know, maybe she is being ousted. Maybe this is a nice way for the network to part ways with her. But girl, you had to run.
Oh, she had an
you had a
amazing
run.
One of the best ever.
So it's like,
yeah.
I look at the guy who plays Homer Simpson, gets all types of money per episode. He's still doing it. He's content. He likes his life. But I'm looking at a Ellen or a Oprah or even like a Dave Letterman. What else is there for me to do? I have to push the envelope with something more creative. So more power to her.
I think also it's time for her just to live a life, you know, outside
Yeah, she's got
of
so
that.
much money.
Yeah, she's got so much money. You know, it's not.
But
a
it's
worry
not.
for
It's
her.
not about the money at that point. Like how much more money you're going to get. Like I believe her when she says there's nothing left to do creatively.
Here's what I think. Listen, I love the Ellen show. I watched it all the time on our breaks from our old schedule. I loved Ellen. But here's what I think happened. The rumors came out. It was tough for her to get those ratings back.
Okay.
She wanted to go out on top like she was, right?
Okay.
She wanted to get those people back and then retire on her own accord. I think this kind of ran her out the door. I feel like the network is like, you've been great to us for 19 seasons. You were a hit show. It didn't become a hit till later on, but I think she wanted to go out on top and she just isn't there, and now she's going to move on with her life.
It makes sense.
All right, guys, we've got new members in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rapper Jay-Z was inducted today. Congrats, Jay-Z, after being nominated for only the first time. So to be eligible, your first record must be at least 25 years old, which is crazy that Jay-Z's is, and your music must have been influential enough to change the course of rock and roll. So 80s girl group The Go-Go's also got into the Hall of Fame on their first try.
Wow.
The group was fronted, of course, by Belinda Carlisle and was known for hits like We've Got the Beat, and I don't know Vacation, but I think I do if I heard it. All right, and Foo Fighters were also selected. Lead singer Dave Grohl was also inducted with Nirvana back in 2014. How cool is that? And Tina Turner was inducted again. Of course, she made it with Ike Turner in 1991. Some of the snubs, LL, he's still not in there after his sixth nomination. He's still not in. Dionne Warwick, who has become a recent hit on Twitter, was also left off that list. But they'll eventually get in. LL 6 times and he's not in?
I mean, once you become an actor, it's hard to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but he was super influential back in the day.
At Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag, all crushed by a building. Round the Way Girl. Like, yeah, I understand that, but when we...
I'm going to knock you out?
But when we're talking Jay-Z,
I know, you're right.
Jay-Z.
You're right.
So I understand what a LL is. He is a B+, A-. But when we're talking Foo Fighters, Foo Fighters.
That's a different group. That's a different group.
That's a different group. We're talking legacies. You know,
I mean,
we're talking legends.
What you say legacies, Tina Turner has only just got in without Ike.
I know.
mean, come on.
There's so many great ones.
Tina Turner, LL Cool J. I mean, they're not.
But let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Even look at like her age, her status, how long she's been in the industry. She's double his age, you know, and she's only just got in. So I think if he's had that many noms, he'll get there eventually.
Do you know what LL Cool J stands for? Do you have?
No.
You don't?
Little legs.
Love. I don't know.
Ladies love Cool James.
Lovely.
Better than the Foo Fighters.
She was not impressed. She was not impressed. She was impressed by Foo Fighters. All right, coming up on DBL, we're talking to Full House star Candace Cameron Bure. She's sharing a spicy secret to a long-lasting marriage. Plus, why is IHOP honoring Adam Sandler? Stephanie tells us what up next in What Up Wednesday.
Closed captioning provided by...
As many people continue to get their COVID-19 vaccine shots, some want to know what else it impacts. Bob Satterfield emailed the Verify team with this question.
After being fully vaccinated for COVID-19, does donating blood diminish the vaccine's effect?
With Verify, we tell you our sources first. We talked with Dr. John Wary from the Penn Institute of Immunology and Dr. Karen Rausch from the Methodist Health System's Department of Pathology. When you get your COVID-19 vaccine, your immune system responds by producing plasma cells, which act as huge factories that continuously make antibodies. You have about 5 liters of blood in your body. Let's use these 1-liter bottles to illustrate. When you donate blood, that only takes out 450 milliliters, or less than half of 1 bottle. This isn't enough to have any impact on the vaccine shot's effectiveness.
While you may lose some of the antibodies in your blood, a very small percentage, the important cells that are making those antibodies stay put.
And in some cases, a phenomenon called rebound can happen where your body actually makes more antibodies after you donate blood.
The body's very good about re-levelizing once something happens to it, and that's certainly the same case for blood donation.
So we can verify, donating blood does not impact the effectiveness of your COVID-19 vaccine shot.
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones, here to dish the week's best celebrity gossip, like which famous starlet is dropping her famous last name for her man, and did Goldie Hawn almost stop acting altogether? It's What Up Wednesday. First, we're heading to Long Island, where Adam Sandler has been given a special day in his honor. So let's rewind to how it all started. He recently stopped into a busy IHOP, aka the International House of Pancakes, with his family in hopes of enjoying an all-you-can-eat deal. Well, the waitress not only didn't recognize him, but when she told him about the 30-minute wait, he politely took his leave, only for her to realize her oversight after he'd left. Then he tweeted, "For the record, I only left because the nice woman told me that the all-you-can-eat deal didn't apply to milkshakes." Wouldn't you know it, but it didn't take long for the pancake powerhouse to respond, officially declaring May the 10th Milkshake Monday at all 19 Long Island locations, offering you all-you-can-drink milkshakes in his honor. And it worked, because Sandler did go back to finally enjoy his bottomless milkshakes, with an even sweeter reunion between he and waitress Diana. Here's what's up. You've got to love Adam Sandler for not using his fame to skip the line, but next time, maybe try to squeeze out some free pancakes too. Next, we're heading across the pond to London, where Keira Knightley is giving up her famous last name, since she'll drop Knightley in favour of her husband's last name, Wrighton. The pair have been married for 8 years and also share 2 daughters. So why the change so many years later, you ask? Well, apparently she came this close to making the change 6 years ago, only to chicken out. But it appears the sun is finally setting on Knightley, only to make her right as rain as a Wrighton. Here's what's up. I don't know about you, but I'll be shocked if anyone but the people in the name-changing office actually pay attention to this switch. I just hope she gets a new passport if she plans on heading back to the Caribbean anytime soon. And finally, we're heading back to sunny Los Angeles, where actress Goldie Hawn is speaking out about mental illness, specifically her own. The 75-year-old recently opened up about her long career in Hollywood and how it wasn't always as glamorous as it looked. She recalls being depressed as she was rising to success, and at one point she couldn't even go out in public, claiming that she didn't want to be a big deal. But the Hollywood veteran says happiness is a choice. You should never feel ashamed of feeling sad, and it's okay to ask for help. Here's what's up. No one said being in the spotlight is easy, and while Goldie Hawn does make it look effortless, it's nice to know she's looking out for the rest of us. That's it for this week's What Up Wednesday. We'll be right back.
We all know that
some companies are scoring big as we see an end to the coronavirus pandemic on the horizon. Those big winners include diet companies. Let's connect the dots. During the COVID quarantine, some of us use that time to hop onto Pelotons or dust off the home gym equipment. Meanwhile, the rest of us turn to comfort food and an extra bottle of wine. A small study found that people who were sheltering in place gained more than a half a pound every 10 days. Now all of us sweatwear Netflix watchers are realizing it's time to put on real pants again. And when that doesn't go well, they're turning to diet plans. That means programs like Noom, which does customized health plans starting at $59 a month, and Weight Watchers, known as WW International, are seeing a big boom in business. Companies that do meal replacement plans are seeing shortages of the most popular foods. That means out-of-stock snacks are going for big bucks on eBay. But experts warn most of these diets can be beneficial in the short term. If you want to keep off your pandemic pounds off for the long term, you have to make realistic changes to your diet and lifestyle. That means retraining how you think about food and hunger, which is a longer commitment than the quick fix diets.
Welcome back to DBL. Candace Cameron Bure has been a household name since Full House. Years later, she reprised her role on the equally successful Fuller House. Earlier, she told Sam and Tori what she's been up to, including whether she kept in touch with Lori Loughlin. That's in our special series, Favorite Stars of the 80s.
Candace Cameron Bure, welcome to DBL. Now, before we get to your fabulous clothing line, the 5th and final season of Fuller House debuted last year. But if you could keep playing DJ Tanner, and I'm crossing my fingers here, in a spinoff, would you?
Oh, yes. Of course I would. It's like a no-brainer question. I love playing DJ. She's such a huge part of my life, and I love the show. I hope we get to do a 3rd iteration of it.
Your TV dad, Bob Saget, recently came to your defense when you were described as fake. Why did someone say that? First off, I don't even care. And how did he chime in on your behalf?
There's lots of people that think I'm fake because I'm a generally happy and positive person and have a lot of joy. I've known Bob for 35 years. You know, we have a long-standing friendship, so of course it feels great, and I appreciated it very much. But he's like one of the dearest people in my life.
I know how close-knit you and your cast are on Full House. So that being said, have you checked in on Lori Loughlin since her release from prison, and how is she doing?
Yes, I've talked to Lori many times, and she's doing well.
So you're currently shooting your 10th Hallmark Christmas movie. Our viewers here know that I watch every single Hallmark movie. I'm obsessed with Hallmark movies, especially Christmas ones. Oh, boy. You also mentioned that with each movie, you've become more and more anxious about filming, even though you've been in the industry for God knows how long.
There's something about the Christmas movies because they're very special and people love them so much. They genuinely mean a lot to them during the Christmas season. And so when you have some of the most anticipated movies, it has been a layer of pressure that gets added every year to make sure the movie's going to be as good as the next one. This last year, it just kind of hit me. It's like, you know, one day you feel like you're going to fall off that pedestal, and I'm like, and so what if I do? It's okay, Candace.
Talk to me about spiciness, all right? I'm about to be 9 years married, and you had a very spicy marriage, and it goes with your faith, and I just have to say...
Give us some tips.
I need the secrets, and I want to know, because I think that's a really, really important thing for a marriage, to have a base in that you still are attracted to each other. Talk to me about that.
You know, I think it's important. You got to keep it up. The longer that you're married, it's so easy to take each other for granted, or, you know, like you know each other so well that you forget. So you have to keep it spicy. And I love that. That's what my husband and I do. And that's why I think one of the reasons we'll be celebrating 25 years of marriage this year.
Wow.
That's incredible.
25 years of marriage.
I just can't.
I know. And Candace, I am a little bored in the bedroom. I'll be honest. I love my husband. I'm probably bored for him. He's probably over me and me not being spicy and sassy.
So just do something unexpected.
Like what?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what?
Like what?
How graphic do you want me to be?
Yeah, girl.
There's something you don't do before, or don't. Maybe lay in a way that you don't normally.
This is good.
Lay or position yourself.
That is so good. I love this.
All right.
Woo.
All right, so let's.
Whoa!
Before we let you go, we got to hear all about your newest venture into clothing and retail. Give us all the details.
So the Candace Cameron Bure clothing line is exclusively sold at QVC. We just debuted last month to a sellout, which was like mind-blowing. I was so happy. This little top, I have jeans on too. They're from the line. You know, the clothing line has a lot of elastic waistbands, but they're not your mother's elastic waistbands, okay?
Don't forget, you guys, to check out all of Candace's brand on her website, CandaceCBure.com. Also, check her out on QVC. Candace, thank you so much for joining us and for being transparent.
Thank you so much, lady.
We just appreciate you. We really do. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Should kids get vaccinated for COVID? A new poll shows only 29% of parents will get their kid vaccinated right away. 32% want to wait to see how the vaccine is working. 15% say only if school requires it. And 19% say they definitely won't get their child vaccinated. CDC data shows less than 300 kids have died from the virus, far fewer than any other age group.
I think death is kind of a very short-sighted way of looking at this, because we do know that children can suffer from severe COVID disease.
Dr. Tina Tan is an infectious diseases physician at Lurie Children's Hospital in Chicago. Nationwide, at least 15,000 children have been hospitalized with COVID, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics.
We've seen kids as young as 3 months of age hospitalized with COVID in an intensive care unit on a ventilator, and they got the COVID from one of their family members.
Pfizer's trial tested their vaccine on more than 1,100 kids aged 12 to 15, and early results show none of them got COVID. Moderna gave their vaccine to more than 2,000 kids 12 to 17, and they've seen 96% efficacy.
It is the best way to protect them against COVID-19 disease.
Experts are also concerned about kids spreading the virus. The newest CDC data shows far more COVID cases among children than seniors.
They can give the virus to others.
Dr. William Schaffner is an infectious disease specialist at Vanderbilt University.
Remember, there are children and adults who are immunocompromised, who cannot either receive the vaccine or who will have a much diminished response. How do we protect our frail brothers and sisters? All the rest of us get protected.
And experts say the more COVID spreads, the greater the chance it could mutate and make the current vaccines less effective. So we can verify, experts agree that children need to be vaccinated for COVID, not just to protect them, but to prevent further spread of the virus.
Let's protect as many children as we can, as quickly as we can. It works for measles. It works for polio. Why are we hesitant for COVID?
With your Verify, I'm Gabe Cohen.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by you-know-who, LifeLock.
LifeLock, baby.
With the tax deadline just a few days away, it's important to remember that scammers are taking advantage.
Oh, no.
Criminals are using this extended deadline to create fear in people filing last minute. You don't want to file last minute because right now there's a scam going around telling people their gas or electric service, it might be turned off if they don't file right away. Guess what? That's fake.
Good.
Also, be aware of emails claiming your tax refund is ready. Because you know what? If it's in a link, remember, your refund won't ever come in the form of a link.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever.
One way you can spot the scam is by looking at the reply all. Okay. This is very important in the email. You'll notice the address isn't the official irs.gov. That's what you need to look for when it comes to your financial assets. LifeLock. You know what? They're here to help, guys. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or you visit that very important website, lifelock.com, to learn more.
Ooh.
That's a good tip.
I'm a late filer on my taxes, so this is really good to hear. And the reply all, we need to use that reply all thing to the DBL people, because if one of the producers are sending us something, don't reply all. Send it right back to the producer, please.
See, you made me stretch that out, and Brandon had plenty to say.
I had a lot.
There you go. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
DBL.